beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we are here today to talk about our shit. Okay? Our show is back. All the Queen's Men. We are season 2, episode 1. It's called Amplified. All right, let's get into it. Okay, before we get started, I have to say if you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe being the most important thing, and a like too, like literally like the video, please. And now we can get into it. And again, if you subscribe, go ahead and give yourself a shout out so that I can give you a shout out in the next video. Because half the time they don't show me who my new subbies are. I don't know how that works, where sometimes I see and a lot of time, most of the time, I don't. But if you are here, I appreciate you. And yeah, we're going to be doing the whole season. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and come back. All right, now let's get started. All right, y'all. So we pick up exactly where we left off when she is shooting at the cop. She wasn't really shooting at her, but she was shooting at Blue's girlfriend, and she was shooting like a warning shot. Ends up shooting Amp. I was happy about it. I'm sure nobody else was, but y'all know I think Amp is just such a, oh my God. He's such a girl and a terrible actor. But so he shot whoever this. First, I thought it was a doctor or whatever, but I'm looking again and it looks like a chef's coat. I'm like, is the chef the one that's about to take the bullet out? So they lay him on the table, and the guy, he's a very attractive guy. Listen, if one thing this show has, it is eye candy for sure. So even Amp, we know he's attractive, even though he's terrible at acting or whatever. Maybe he got better this season. We'll hope. But yeah, he's like, oh my God, auntie, auntie. And she slaps him and she's like, stop with that bitch shit. And I was like, yes, please. Because he sounds totally like a little bitch. And she kept telling him, listen, it's not that bad. That's just my, what'd she say? That's just my warning shot. Like, that's not even a big gun. What are you doing? Like, when I tell you he was just overreacting like crazy. And the guy, cutie, patootie, whoever he is, he was like, listen, he's fine. He's fine. I'm gonna take it out or whatever. Like she did not care. She was just like, he's gonna be fine. But when I tell you, this man was making all of the noise like he's about to die. And yeah, zero shits was given by her and the guy. So they try to get him to drink something. He's like, I can't do drugs. She's like, it's a drink and it's just to calm you down. So she gives him like a sip. And he's like, I could die. I could die. Y'all, the guy, the cutie pie, go and take off the little coat. His arms look great. So then we see that, Madam has been shot before. So she, raises up her jacket and her shirt, and she shows that she has a bullet wound. And she's like, he took mine out. My thought is this: how did he take yours out and it doesn't look like a cut at all? Like, it just looks like a bullet wound, when he just literally had to cut this guy open to get the scar out. Maybe they didn't think that through. But it's okay. We are not here to point those sort of things out. But y'all, his arms, cuz I stopped it. He on a white beater, and his arm, I'm an like, I love big arms and a big back. Like when your back sit up, that shit is amazing. But yeah, let's finish on here. Listen, this is RP Valley, literally. Like, they get to see all the girls and everything, the TNA, and we get to see the men, and I love it. So Madam goes to the back and she's like making a phone call. Amp is like really amped up and he's going crazy. He's screaming. She's like, man, the fuck up. Like, she's literally telling him to shut up. She's like, Amp, like you would yell at your kids when they just being too loud. And I'm like, he has a whole bullet in him. But she calls someone and she's like, I'm gonna send you a picture and an address, and I need you to go get this girl and then hold her, keep her. And whoever it is on the phone is like, okay. And then, we have the opening scene where, well, where it comes on and the song and everything. I don't like the fact that we can't just skip it. You know how on Netflix where they be like, skip the intro, there it is. Um, we can't skip the intro here. I don't like that. I don't like it at all, but it's okay. All right, so now we at the halfway house with the guy named Red, and y'all know, when the other one ended, he pushed the girl into the wall. I can't remember her name, and all the money fell out. So this is the guy that was in the halfway house with Amp, and he was always trying to get into the club. Oh, I need to get there. I need to work there. Let me work there. He was very irritating. So he comes home. He comes to the halfway house with all, a bag of money. And another guy comes in. I think he called him Bill. And he's like, "How much you got there?" And he's like, "It's like 50,000." And then he looks at the bag like, "This shit is huge." And but he don't say that, but he's just like, 50,000. Let me see. And he's like, "It's all in ones." And he's like, "Let me see." Nah, tomorrow. Nah, let me see. So he opened the bag and it's all $100 bills. And he's like, "Dang." He's like, "This ain't no $50,000." And then Red is like, "Yeah, it's like 2 million." And I'm like, so already none of these people, they can't be trusted with each other. Like they're both criminals. So this is why they're in the halfway house. So how on earth are they going to go into business together? Because he's like, half of this is mine and all that or whatever. And we got to get out of here tonight. And he's like, we got to put the money up. The guy named Bill, he calls himself the brains of the operation. And Red is so stupid. He's like, okay, okay. And Bill says he's going to go find some alcohol because they need to celebrate. And the whole time I'm thinking, how on earth are these two going to like get at each other? Because we know that somebody's going to try to take everything. We know this is going to happen for sure. All right, so now we're with Madam, and she's in her Jeep. She pulls up to a place, and then she makes a phone call. She calls the same guy again, and she's like, "You got her?" He's like, "Yeah, I got her." She's like, "Cool, stand by." She then gets out the Jeep. She puts on, y'all, she got on a little pantsuit. And I told y'all last season, that's my shit. That's my jam. A nice little pantsuit, that's my jam. So I'm all about it. I'm all here for it. And she gets out, she takes some chains out the back seat or whatever. She chains it to the front door, and then she reverse and take off the front door. And we see this lady come to the door yelling, "Oh my God, call the police." And y'all remember the judge? Y'all remember the judge that was in there actually sleeping with people, right? Y'all remember her. Yeah, so the judge comes out and Eva's like, God, I tried not to call her Eva, but it's Eva, y'all. Madam is like, she says, "Do you really want Harry to call the police? Because I would hate to show him the video." And the judge is like, "You get out of here right now." And she's like, "What video?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, there's a video." And she shows her the video, and Harry suddenly comes out. They both got on their little silk pajamas or whatever. It's so cute. So Harry comes out. He's like, "What's going on here?" And Eva's like, "Your wife, she likes fucking strippers." And he's like, "What is she talking about?" So she's giving him some papers or whatever, and she's like, "Here, Judge, here, Harry." And he's like, um, asking his wife, "What is that?" And she said, "Your wife?" And she likes playing games, but I don't like playing games. So what she wants is for Blue to be released. She wants her to be released like right now. All right, so the husband looks at it and he's like, "Oh my God." And she's trying to explain. And Eva's just like, "Listen, I need Blue to be out like now." And the lady's like, "I'm not doing anything. I'm going to call the police." She's like, "Oh, okay. Answer the other line," because her phone starts ringing. And it's their daughter. And their daughter's like, "Whatever she tells you to do, just do it or they're going to kill me." And they're like, "Oh my God, it's my daughter." Then we come to find out that Harry is a judge. He's like, "We're both judges. You're going to jail, young lady." And she's like, "Oh, Harry, you're a judge too? Great. Like, this can happen sooner. Like, this is definitely about to happen. Y'all about to get Blue out, like, right now." And the wife ends up just talking mad shit or whatever. Eva, Madam, she puts the gun to her head and she's like, "Excuse me, what?" And then the wife says, "Oh, I'm going to need more than 15 minutes. Okay, fair. I'll give you an hour." And she's like, "If I hear of anyone coming after me, like FBI, CIA, Element APQ, or whatever, like, I don't care. I better not hear of anyone." She's like, "I'll blow this whole house up with your daughter in it." And she backs off and she politely removes the chain off of her Jeep and fixes her clothes. I think she had a Birkin bag in her hand. And she goes back and she gets in the car and drives away. While the husband, Harry, is screaming, "What did you do? What did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, she definitely enjoyed herself, Harry. She enjoyed every moment when she was in that strip club." All right, so now we back at the club, Club Eden, and we have a little dance break with the guys. Every episode we have to see them do a whole routine, kind of like P Valley. And I'm not watching that shit again. So I fast forwarded because it was nothing. Like, it's not as impressive as the girls on the pole in P Valley. And I'm sorry to like keep comparing the two, but it's all about strippers. So we're gonna have to. But yeah, the girls on the poles be doing some stuff where you just be like, oh my God, like you ain't even looking at them because, you're a girl, you don't care. And listen, if you're a girl that likes to look at girls, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not judging. It's fine. But I'm just saying, that's not why I'm looking. But I just be looking at the stunts they be getting off. And this is not the same. So, not to say that it was terrible, but when they're done, Trouble, which is the girl who does the stripping. She's the only girl there, but she's like a I guess like a butch lesbian or whatever. So she kind of looks like a guy, but you know that she's not a guy. And all the women love her. And so she's kind of making fun of them for having a dry routine. And everybody is like son in poor little trouble. And um she looks over and we see the lady who was buying Face. I don't remember his name being Face before because my baby, her nickname is Face. And I don't remember the lady calling him Face so much before, but maybe she did. But it's the guy that had the girl or the lady that was buying him, and she had his car repoed and everything. So she comes up and she's like trying to talk to him, and he's like, you need to get out of here. She's like, listen, I paid your rent. And she's like, baby face. He's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. You need to get out of here because you still have my car repo. And I'm like, girl, if you just give him his car back, he might be okay. Um, she's trying to talk to him. He's like, you better beat it. He turns his head. She throws money at his head, like, fuck your face or whatever. He don't care. He's over it. She repoed his car, and that was that was it for him. Y'all, this man owed child support and everything. I wonder how that's coming. I wonder if we're gonna hear anything about if Face is actually doing what he needs to do to handle his own business at this point. Like, now that you don't have this lady taking care of you anymore, are you doing what you need to be doing? You're making money. You're like literally sleeping with women. So hopefully you're paying your child support. All right, we then see Doc, who is Bolo, of course. And he's over there giving like little lap dances or whatever. And then one of the looks like security or bouncers or whatever come over, and they're like, "Hey, whose Rolls Royce is that?" And he's like, "Nigga, none of your business. What you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, I know it ain't yours." And he's like, "Some man has been out there staring at it for about 30 minutes to an hour." And he's like, "All right, I'm finna go." And he tell the ladies he'll be back. He goes out. The man's literally just standing there. It's the weirdest thing. Like, he's literally just standing there looking at the car. And he's like, what's up with this? And he tells him that he's the now if y'all remember, we found out that Doc had a baby with this lady or whatever, this girl, lady, whatever you want to call her. So apparently he starts talking to her again or whatever, and she lets him drive the car to work. And it's not her car, it's not his car. So apparently it's the husband's car, or it was her car, but the husband has keys to it, like it's their car. So he's like, "This is my car." And he ends up telling him, "Listen, I'm her husband." So he's like, "I ain't got nothing to do with that. You need to talk to your wife." He's like, "Okay, I'll do that, but I'm gonna take this car and I'm gonna leave." And he ends up asking him if the baby is his. Just tell me one thing if the baby is mine. He's like, "Listen, I'm not in it." Bolo, well, Doc is like, "I'm not in it. You need to talk to her or whatever, and your beef is with her." So he drives off in the car, the husband, and then Doc calls the girl and lets him know your husband is on your way, on his way to deal with you. And by the way, why didn't you tell me you guys were still together? And he never threw her under the bus though with the husband. He never said she didn't tell me y'all was still together or anything like that. He just said, "Listen, why didn't you tell me?" And she's like, "Oh, it ain't no big deal, And she made it out like she can handle him. And she's like, even asking him, do he want her to send another car? And I'm like, girl, really? Like, you have zero concern for hubby and you still want to send this man a car. He's like, "Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good." He, I guess, wasn't even mad at her, Bolo, because he's a man. He really doesn't care. She makes out like she can deal with the husband, and that's that. All right, so then we see the other stripper. I can't remember his name just yet. I gotta get, acclimated again to the whole, who everybody is. But he, the one who said his dick was dying, like literally, he's the one that, yeah, he said his dick was dying. So he sees this woman at the bar, and he's like, "I've been seeing you looking at me all night," and I'm like, "Ain't everybody been looking at you all night? Like, that's the whole point." But it's okay. And they do this whole bartering thing of, she can't go back to the room because she doesn't have $300. Well, how much you have? I have $200. Okay, cool. And he's like, but do you have an ATM card? I'm not going to the ATM in here. So they end up, getting up and going somewhere where he's like, okay, that's fine. I can deal with what you got, and I know where I can take you. And they leave. And I'm just like, he is trash. And that is why his dick is dying. All right, so back outside, Madam is pulling up and she sees that Doc is in the driveway. He comes and he walks up to her car and she's like, "What you doing out here?" And he's like, "Well, I just been," and she's like, "I need you to calm the fuck down. Like, we're fine. Everything is fine. I need you to calm down." And she's like, "All I need you to do is dance. Like, I need you in the club doing what you're supposed to do." And he starts asking, "Well, then, if we good," because she's like, "We're good. You don't need to be worried about stuff. We're good." He's like, "If we're good, where's Diamond? Dime. That's the girl's name who they pushed into the wall. The DJ. Her name is Dime. Where's Dime and Blue?" And she looks around and she's just like, "Nigga, why are you making it so difficult to deal with you tonight?" Y'all cracked up. Eva does her thing on this show, and I know I'm gonna say it a billion more times, but when I tell you, she literally came from, I mean, we know where she came from. What's the name of it? America's Next Top Model, and she's a great actress. She's amazing at acting, so kudos to Eva. But she ends up telling him he needs to go in and do his job, basically. That's all she cares about. All right, so Madam enters the club. She's walking with Doc, and we come upon Trouble, who's like, "Yo," and she's like, "Excuse me, what?" And she's like, "Yo," and she's like, "Fucking yo, what I look like? Who you talking to? Like, you will refer to me as Madam." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, no disrespect or whatever." She tells her that she's just so nervous around her because she's so beautiful. And when she goes and she's like, Trouble, and Trouble goes to like go in her face a little bit more, but Doc backs her up. And Madam is just like, get the fuck out my face. Like, go do something. And she tells, her that she was about to go tell Fuego he has a dance. And she's like, go do that. Because Trouble was telling her that she's been holding this shit down all night because where is Blue and where's Dime? And she's like, first of all, you will put some respect on my establishment. This is a multi-million-dollar club and it's not shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, they be punking the shit out of poor little Trouble. Poor Trouble. So Trouble goes to tell Fuego that he has a bachelorette in the house and she wants him. And he's like, where's she at? So come to find out it's somebody that he talked to because she kept saying, you won't even look at me. You won't even look at me. And he, ends up talking to her and running away, basically. He don't want nothing to do with this bachelorette. She got the whole tiara and everything on. So I guess we'll find out later what's going on with that. right, so Madam makes into her office and she sees Dime laying on the floor and she's like, "Oh my God, Dime!" And she goes and she does a little slap and Dime, get off me, get off me. So come to find out, she's like, "What happened to you?" And she's like, "I tried to stop him." Him who? Him is the guy from the halfway house. He calls himself Red. And she's like, "The kid that came here looking for a job?" Oh, excuse me. She's like, "Yeah." All right, so Don continuously, keeps saying how sorry she is. She's so sorry. And she's like, "Don't say it anymore. It's fine. I tried to stop him. I tried to stop him." And she's like, "It's fine. Just go get back in the DJ booth." And I'm like, this girl just got fucked up. Like, Reed just fucked her up. And you want her to go and get back in the DJ booth? And literally, she was sitting there, legs wide open, like she was out of breath and everything. Like she had just gotten fucked up. And I'm like, how do you expect her to go back to work? Just like a boss, I'm telling you. And she's like, "Can you do that? Can you go back to her?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you really giving her a choice though? Like, you sounds like you're not. You're like, get back in the DJ booth now." So she tells her, "Don't worry about it. Don't say a word about this to anybody. I'm gonna take care of it. Don't say anything." She says she ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, this girl literally cannot walk. Like, she's like, "Take your time, take your time, but get back in the DJ booth." Like, she didn't say, "Take your time. Oh my God, you don't feel good, go home." Take your time, but get back to work. All right, so she make a call again. She's calling this same guy. She's asking about how everything went with the girl. The father ended up coming. You weren't here. I don't understand that part because the father ended up coming where. But anyway, she tells him, "Listen, put something big in my car." Oh no, she says in my Birkin. This fool says something light. She said, "I just said big." So she says she's going to get Blue and she'll be back. So we know whatever she's doing, it's about to be big and it's about to be with Blue. And I'm excited because I can't wait to see Blue, you guys. She did such an amazing job. Y'all know who Blue is. Blue is the lady that put the billboard up and everything. And she like kills this role. So kudos to whoever, I can't remember her name, that plays Blue. And I'm excited to see Blue because Blue gets shit done. And like they both just real gangsta. I love it. All right, so now we're with Fuego, and he rushes into the backstage with the rest of the strippers, and we see where Dead Dick went. He went with the girl into their bathroom, and they're doing it, and he's like, "Get out!" So he gets out, and Doc and Face messing with him, and he's just like, "I'm not in the mood tonight." So basically, we find out that the girl that is the Bachelorette is the girl that got away, and she's of course about to get married to somebody else. He feels less than because her family never liked him because they felt like he was not good enough. And he was like, "Well, I'm sure she's about to probably marry someone with money, and now she sees me here, and this is basically just kind of confirming exactly what her family meant." And Doc tells him, "No, you're smart. Like, you're not like everybody else or whatever. You go to school sometime." She definitely says you go to school sometime and you're smart. So I thought it was a cute little moment, but I'm like, okay, all these men with all this drama. You guys, and this scene ends with Trouble being sunned once again. She comes in and tells Fuego he has a dance. And she's like, "Y'all gonna end up tipping me. I'm sitting up here taking, everybody's stuff. Like, I'm doing everything." So Doc tells Fuego to go take care of that. Go handle your business or whatever. So he gets up and then he looks at Trouble and he's like, "What are you doing in here? Get out of here." And I'm like, why y'all be so mean to her? Like, it's so rude. But I mean, I guess she's the only actual girl there. So of course it's going to happen. All right. So now we have Amp crying, still crying about his bullet wound. I think it's funny that they really don't care that this guy got shot. Like, literally, whoever Cutie Pie is, he's driving him to the hospital and he's like offering him cookies. And he's like, "You acting weird, man." I'm like, weird, like he just got shot? And he's telling him to calm down. Like, and when I tell you Amp is acting like he's dying, he's just like, "Oh my God, oh my God, I'm losing so much blood." Nah, you alright. So, Madam ends up calling the cute guy and he's telling him, "Yeah, we on our way to the hospital. He's alright," basically. So when they get to the hospital, Amp falls all out the Jeep or the car or whatever because he's mad dramatic. He's ridiculous. is somebody comes over, a nurse comes over, and she's like, oh my God, we need to help him. And then we see another lady come over and just stand over him. And I'm trying to remember exactly who this lady is, but we know this lady. We know her face. All right, so then we had the scene that we knew was gonna come, where Bill in the halfway house brought some beers for him and Red. He gives Red a beer. He's like, "Oh, you been holding out? It's all good. Let's just celebrate." So they drinking, and then all of a sudden, Red don't feel good. He's like, "You all right? You all right?" And, Red's like, nah, I'm not all right. So he ends up, pushing him back, like, you just gonna go to sleep for a little while. And of course, he pushes him back. He takes the money because we knew that they're both criminals and somebody was going to screw over somebody. So Bill has the upper hand right now. All right, so guess who we see now? We see Blue. Hey, Blue. And it's so funny because they're just like smiling at each other. Like, I just love them together. They're dynamic or whatever. They're like, why was I finna say Sonny and Cher? I don't know. But like, Bonnie and Clyde, that's weird too. Batman and Robin or whatever. I like their dynamic together. But she tells her that, so you got me out. You knew I was gonna get you out. Okay, cool. She asks about Cat. Is Cat all right? She says for now. And she's like, you gotta let me talk to her. Okay, you can talk to her. And she's like, this ain't the way of the club. And I'm like, everybody know that Madam ain't letting y'all get off work. Like, you can go to jail and we don't care. You still got to go to work tonight. And she's like, no, I thought I'd pay a visit to the guy that, stole my money at the halfway house. And she's like, you got to be shitting me. And I thought Blue was going to be mad. Like, yo, I literally just got out of jail and now you want me to do some more stuff. But no, she was mad that he stole the money or whatever. And she's like, you got something for me? Yeah, in the middle console. So she pulls out the gun and she tells Madam to let her handle it. Okay, you can handle it all. And I'm just like, as soon as she get out, she got to go handle some more stuff. It's ridiculous. All right, so we get a quick scene with Dime sitting on the stage, and she's ready for all the guys to tip out, tip her out or whatever, because they got to tip the DJ. And Doc asks her if she needs him to do anything or whatever. You okay? You okay? Like, he's very concerned, and he's so sweet, Doc. But he's asking if she's, nah, I'm fine, I'm fine. So fine. They end up tipping her out, and then when she gets to Dead Dick, she's like, and I will call him by his name once they say it. Like, I can't remember his name. But she gets to him and she's like, you need to walk me to my car. He's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, why you ain't just tell Doctor walk you to your car? Like, he ain't got no ride home anyway. Maybe you could just drop him off. All right, so speaking of Doc, he makes it to the parking lot to some car. It's so random, you guys. Like, they would really have to explain this. What car is he going to that she's in? The girl and the baby is in the car, and she's like, we ain't got nowhere to go. So I guess the husband put her out. But my whole thing is, if you took your car, or hubby took your car, and Doc technically had no ride home, you didn't send him a car or anything. What car was he walking to, you guys? Like, I really want to know that. But it's okay. So his baby mama and his baby in the car, and he just like shakes his head. All right, so Madam and Blue pull up at the halfway house, and they get to the trunk, and Blue hands her the bag, and she's like, "Madam, I told you, like, just let me do it. Stay calm, cause I know you." And she's like, "Yeah, I got it. It's cool." So she's handing her the Birkin, and she's like, "What the hell you got up in here?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it." So Blue ends up getting like a AK-47 or some like ridiculous assault rifle type thing or whatever. And they walking up to the halfway house. They ask the guy, there's a guy standing out there. They ask him if he knows where Red is. He say, "Oh, ain't nobody by that name here." She's like, "Okay." He goes running. She pulls the gun out on him. He goes running. And guess what? She actually shoots him. And Blue is like, "What the hell, madam?" All right, so we have a scene where she walks into the house and all the guys are sitting around the living room or whatever. And she walks in and she's like, "Somebody needs to tell me what Red is." A guy says, "Who?" And she's like, "Red." And she shoots him. So basically, this whole scene is where she is just randomly, one at a time, as soon as they say something, but they're not telling where he is, she shoots him. One guy does tell where he is. He's upstairs and she shoots him. And then another guy is like he's trying to tell her that he can't hear. And she keep asking the question. She's like, yo, I'm asking you this question or whatever, and he can't hear. And she shoots him. And then Blue is like, Madam, did you read the sign that, most of these people are deaf? And I'm just like, that is so random that there is a halfway house with a whole bunch of deaf guys. So there's a sign. I couldn't read what the sign said. I guess it says they're deaf. And she's like, oh, I guess they really can't hear now. And to me, all right, let me tell y'all what I think about this scene. So it was very, of course, unexpected, where I was just like, okay, it's becoming a little far fetched. Where last season she did just a little bit where we could see, it wasn't just constant killing, and they had to like cover it up and stuff. But this, I was just like, they're doing a bit much. But she ends up going upstairs, and of course they see Red. They wake him up or whatever, and he's like, he don't have the money, he don't know where it is. And they sit him down, and she starts shooting him like in the kneecaps or whatever, until he says that he can find the money. Oh, at first you couldn't find the money, now you can find the money. Um, all right, you guys, and the episode ends where she is still talking to Red. He's still claiming he can find the money or whatever, and she's like, "No, you don't know where the money is." So she takes out a bomb and she puts it in between his legs, and she's like, "Yeah, and he's screaming, "Oh my God, it's a bomb, madam, madam!" And I was so happy to see him go. Like, I'm sorry, so happy to see him go. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess she can shoot all these people in the head or whatever if she's gonna blow up the house. I'll give them that. That's fine. I'll allow it basically. So yeah, there is an episode 2, and I haven't watched it yet, but I will probably more than likely watch it tonight or in the morning and do reviews episode 2 tomorrow. So meet me back here, you guys. If you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have made it to the end of the video, you are the real MVP. I definitely do appreciate you. And I will see you guys in the next video, more than likely tomorrow. Smooches.